My dad said, "Do you want to marry me?"
And she said yes?
No.
You should find a partner that's going to stand beside you.
It is not about me versus you. It is about us versus the problem.
Take note.
Exactly.
The vitamin C or the vitamin D?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gemini Soulcast. I'm your host, Rob.
I'm your host, Sin.
And Sin, so last episode, we talked about the glow up
Yeah, we did.
in breakups and post-relationships, right?
Yeah.
But in this episode, as a follow-up, I would love for us to chat about, now that you've gone through that glow up, maybe you met somebody new, maybe you now have an SP,
An SP.
right? And now you're enjoying this moment, right?
Yeah.
It might be some time now, and now you're wondering, okay, how do I take this to the next level with this? And I always feel that usually when it comes to dating, there usually is this period of time where you kind of have to go through certain uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah, sometimes it's after the honeymoon phase where all these things come up.
Right.
And now you have to have conversations, or you realize that you want something different and you want to speak to your SP about it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that stuff comes up.
Oh, yeah. It's not an easy type of conversation, right?
No.
So just to give people the idea of what this is, right? Usually like in a honeymoon phase, it's probably about like a year to 2 years.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? And then after that, what are some of those questions or some of those thoughts that starts popping up after the honeymoon phase?
I mean, it depends on, what you want. Some people want a family.
Right.
Some people want to move in together. I don't know. What else could it be? What else could come up for these conversations?
Marriage, kids.
Travel.
Change of jobs.
Yeah.
All that. Even getting a pet.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
That's true. That's like having another kid.
Yeah, for sure, Because all these things, what it does is that it disrupts what you find comfortable with in a relationship. So how does one go about, like, starting that conversation with their significant other? Because it's tough.
It's tough, but at the same time, sometimes it's like people are afraid to bring certain things up too.
Right.
Because they're afraid of what their SP is going to say in response to that.
Right.
We're more afraid of like the response than us just like being very vocal about what it is that we want.
Yeah.
Right? For some reason, it's like, why? If I'm in love with you and I trust you and we have a good relationship and we're comfortable, that's really what it comes down to. We're comfortable, so why would I want to rock the boat here? Or why would I want to create change?
Because it's the idea of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it could even be as simple as they need to change their habits on certain things.
Right.
Or their mindset on certain things.
Right.
Certain things that irks you, that if you don't voice it, they will never know.
Right.
So they just rather not say it. They just sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, which is terrible because that pile gets really high.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? Then what are you going to do?
Then what usually happens is that an explosion usually happens.
and there's dirt everywhere.
Yeah. And then it's either you or the significant other being like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner? And it's like, well, babe, it's because, I didn't have time. Or like, I just feel like you would be offended if I said this or da-da-da. And it's like pretty much to say, when you have something that's on your mind or something that's triggering you, you got to say it. You got to communicate with it. I think one of the worst things you could do to betray the relationship is sweeping things under the rug as though it's not ever there.
Yeah, which a lot of people do.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned, like, why does it happen? Like, why does that happen?
Sweep things under the rug?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to face it.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with it. And it has a lot more to do with fear. Definitely it's about fear.
Yes.
And you create fear in your mind as well. And you're thinking sometimes like, well, I want to do this, but what if they don't want that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because no matter what happens, like, you can't just go based on a plan all the time. Get involved with someone. You're thinking, all right, we're going to be together 2 years, then we're going to move in, and then we're going to probably, after another 2 or 3 years, we're going to get engaged, we're going to get married. Yeah, and then like 7 years in, we're going to have our first kid. A lot of times, it does not play out that way.
Nope.
And there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of evolving. There's a lot of growth that can happen in a relationship. But then you have some people that are so afraid of anything changing because they're in their head thinking that it's not going to play out the way that they'd like.
Or it's not going to play out within their plan.
Right.
Anything that doesn't go with their plan is going against their plan, which means it goes against this relationship and against this thing called love.
Right.
Yeah. They're not able to adapt.
But I think it's a beautiful thing when you are in a relationship with somebody and you're both pouring into each other. You're both allowing changes to occur, but you're still standing side by side. And that's the thing with relationships. You should find a partner that's going to stand beside you. Not just fully take over your entire life or like take over the things that you dream about. Right.
Because you are co-creating
with
your partner as just as well as you're co-creating with the universe.
Right.
Is not there was I remember I went to a good friend's wedding in Seattle a few years ago, and at their vows, and they're talking about this, and it made me cry because of how they talked about love and how it is not about me versus you, it is about us versus the problem.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Because you're a team.
Yeah. Ultimately, you're a team.
You're a team together. Like, you cannot be like, oh, why are you this or why am I that? It's like, yes, you got to have those conversations. And sometimes it is calling them out.
Yeah.
On whatever bullshit that they have.
Yeah.
And they probably know that it's some bullshit. Mm-hmm. But you got to be willing to be brave enough that for the sake of this relationship, for the sake of love, I got to be honest with you about what you're doing and how I disagree with you on certain things.
Right. And sometimes you're going to want to do things, right? Mm-hmm. And, within the team, somebody's going to have to make a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because you could want to do something at the same time as your partner.
Right.
And then the best thing to do is to communicate as far as what it is that you both want.
Right.
When it comes to that. And what's the best decision for the team right now. Mm-hmm. But what happens is that sometimes it's like automatically you're not being supportive.
Right.
You're not backing me up. Mm-hmm. You don't care about me. You only care about you. And they forget. Like sometimes you just forget. Like you're a unit.
Yeah.
You're a team. You're making the best decisions. A delay is not a denial. So,
right.
But yes, you do have people that don't want you to fulfill your dreams.
Yeah.
Your significant others. Sometimes they're even jealous of you and what you're doing.
That is a real thing, and that does happen. They're jealous when you are succeeding. They're jealous when you end up making new friends, and because they want you just for themselves.
Yeah, they're jealous when you make more money than them.
Yeah, and that's especially, I guess, pretty common amongst like heterosexual relationships where like if the woman is succeeding and making more money than the man, then they feel less than.
Yes.
Because traditionally the man is the one who's trying to provide for the family.
Right.
So when that doesn't happen, it's like, yo, what? I'm supposed to be the man.
Right. Right. And they let that ego get in the way.
Right.
Instead of looking at it like, you know what, this is great.
Right.
We're a team. We're making things happen.
Like, everybody, if that's the case, if you are a guy and you're feeling like a little insecure because your woman, your wife is succeeding a lot more, making more money than you, then look, it's time to change that mindset and look at our best example right here, which is Rihanna and A$AP Rocky.
Oh, she's definitely the breadwinner there.
Yes, she is. And there's a whole interview where he's talking to Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg is putting A$AP Rocky on game. He's like, hey, man. He's like, hey, you have to understand, cuz, like, you're in a great position. He's like, you could just sit back and you could just support her. And then you'll have your moment to shine, but then boom, is Rihanna.
Yeah.
It's like you were the baddest bitch in the whole music industry.
Yeah.
Like that's already a win in itself. Like
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we gotta always look at it. That is where that partnership comes in, right? What is a SP? A significant partner, right? It's a partnership. It cannot be me versus you.
No.
And yeah, in the team, you gotta call each other out on certain things. It's like you're gonna play volleyball. Hey, you missed that dive. I could push you to go even harder. I know you could do it. I'm not pushing you because I don't like you. It's because I know that you're amazing and that you're capable.
Yeah.
Go for that.
Yeah.
You know how many times I see this relationship dynamic within my parents?
Oh.
You know? Yeah, in the best way possible. Where my dad, he might be making some important decision in his career, and my mom would be beside him, talking it through, being like, nah, that's not the right person to talk to. Or, yes, you should go talk to this person. And I see how it works.
Yeah.
And it's like, there are moments when it's like, and my mom always tells me this quote, where she's like, it's so important in terms of who you end up with. You as a guy always have to understand that behind every great man is a great woman.
Yeah. It's very true.
You know?
Take note.
Exactly. You know, so but it's so true. It's like, that is where that partnership comes in, you know? All right, you guys know what time it is. It is affirmations of the day, and we got the Channy affirmations deck.
About to pull one of these bad boys out for you right now.
Let's see.
There it is.
Hey.
Oh! You saw that, right? Oh my God, guys. The card is, if I love us, I have to want us to evolve more than I want us to stay comfortable. We just had an entire episode on this, guys. I hope you guys are still checking it out. This is amazing. It is so true. You're always going to want growth with your significant other. You're going to allow change to happen. It's the greatest thing too, is like to be on a journey with somebody when you find your person. But at the same time, recognizing what it is that they need and what they want as much as you recognize what you need and what you want. Keep that in mind when it comes to relationships, guys. But just let yourself evolve.
And a lot of times, evolution is not a comfortable process, but it's necessary.
It's definitely necessary. And with that,
Back to the episode. And so it's very important with like who you end up with is someone who's able to support you and that you're also able to support them. And yes, there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations that you're going to have.
Yeah.
But those are the types of conversations that's going to push the relationship to the next level where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know? And you got to have a little bit of pressure sometimes. Pressure makes diamonds.
And you have to remember too, like we were talking about earlier, that, you know, you're going to evolve sometimes and your partner isn't.
Right.
You're going to have some growth and they're not. Mm-hmm. And some people feel like because they're growing, their partner should be growing with them. And it creates pressure.
Create some distance.
Yeah, and it could create some distance too. But it's like, you kind of just have to like give it time and allow the changes to happen and just give them space and give them some grace too, because sometimes it's like you're evolving quicker than they are.
Right.
And that, you know, but if they're still there and they're still beside you and they're still willing to like make effort and stuff like that, like just allow them to like grow at their pace.
Because they're at their own timeline.
Yeah.
It is so important to give each other that grace and to give each other space to exist and to have those types of conversations and to know that if you're growing and they're not, it doesn't mean that the relationship is going sour. If they're growing and you're not, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Like, we all grow at different rates. We each have our own timeline.
Yes.
So it's almost like you have your timeline, they have their timeline, and then when you guys are together, there's like a new timeline in a way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, you might have certain dreams and goals before. They have their own dreams and goals, and then when you come together, then you kind of start formulating new dreams and goals.
Right.
My parents, they have this thing where like, so my parents, they never dated.
Oh, no?
My parents never dated.
What they do? They just got married?
They got married first.
What?
So they were friends.
Okay.
Originally, they were friends, and then they were on the phone talking to each other. My mom was in Wisconsin. My dad was in New York.
Well, how'd they meet?
They met back when they were in China in school.
Oh, snap. Okay.
at the time, my mom never thought about dating my dad because, in my mom's words, he's too short.
She's taller than him?
Yeah, by an inch.
Oh, okay.
Short kings for the win. But so she never thought about that. Then once they both came to the United States, they didn't know that they were both going to the United States. He came in first, then she came in, then she found out that he was living in New York. So then they ended up communicating. And one day my dad was like, oh, hey, like if you have some time off, like come to New York. And then she said, oh, yeah, I'm actually free at this certain time. So my dad went to the travel agent, says, how much is for a round trip ticket from Wisconsin to New York? He's like, yeah, about $200 at the time. He's like, he immediately pulled out the book, wrote the check, gave him $200.
Wow.
Mailed the round trip plane tickets to my mom.
Wow.
Yeah. And then my mom went to go hang out with my dad for like 2 weeks in New York, and then they went to Washington, D.C. They traveled together. But they weren't dating. It was just as friends.
Okay.
And at the end of it, my dad said, do you want to marry me?
And she said yes?
No.
Then what happened?
My mom went back to Wisconsin and wrote a letter to her mom and said, hey, there's this guy in New York, in the United States. I've known him for a while. He's a good friend. He's really smart. He's kind. But the one thing is that he's too short. And
Didn't check off all the boxes.
Didn't check off all the boxes. But my grandma, her mom, wrote back the letter and said, hey, look, nobody's perfect.
That's right.
And if he feels like he's a good man and you feel he's capable and he's got potential and he treats you well, you could go marry him. So my mom said, okay.
And then she married him?
She packed up her bags, moved to New York. They got married at City Hall, where the wedding ring that they got was, my dad bought the rings on Canal Street for like $8.
Wow.
You know, there's like people who's asking, hey, cheap bags, cheap purse. He got one of those cheap rings, those fake rings to marry, because they didn't have money back then. And they had a witness, like one of their friends. So my parents always said that they didn't date until after they got married.
Wow, that is crazy.
And it was crazy. And they would tell me the story about the grapefruit. And I'm like, what's the grapefruit? And they would say that every night, after they got married and they moved in together, every night they would share a meal together, dinner. They share one meal, a $10 meal, and they'll split it. And at the end, they will always share grapefruit. And as they're sharing grapefruit, they will talk about the dreams that they have and the type of life that they want to build together.
Wow.
Over food, over a meal that they share, and over grapefruit.
Wow.
Yeah. You know?
I love this.
Yeah. And it's like there's so many trials and tribulations in my parents' marriage and in their relationship together, you know, once they had me and my brothers, but all throughout it, they talked things out, had those difficult conversations, even though there's arguments, even though there could be tension. It always came down to like, we need to have these conversations because it's for the sake of the family, it's for the sake of our kids, it's for the sake of us, like what we're trying to build here in the States and stuff. So
How long they been together?
over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love wins.
Yeah. And they're still pushing each other.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah. My mom's still on my dad about, oh, he could be better at this, or oh, wow, he improved at this. My dad would be like, you know, your mom's great at this, could be better at that.
Okay.
They're trying to be healthy together. They go on walks together. They work out together. They're in that team mindset.
That's great.
You know? And
That's great. Look at that.
they're never going to let each other slack like that.
Thank God she got over it. Oh, Rob wouldn't be here right now.
That's very true.
He would be my co-host right now.
That's right. And I'm taller than both my parents. So there's that. So yeah, that's an example of, you know, talking things out. Right now, we live in an age where there's so much uncertainty, and I gotta find the one, and and like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And talk it out.
Communication is key.
Yes, and it's not gonna happen overnight.
No.
Have those grapefruit moments.
Ooh.
You know,
Get yourself some grapefruit.
get yourself some grapefruit.
If you don't like grapefruit, get like a tangerine.
Tangerine, you know, it's healthy. Get some
Something.
vitamin C. Each piece share with each other.
And then you get the vitamin D. You know what I'm talking about?
Damn!
The vitamin C or the vitamin D.
This is a part of the podcast where it goes unhinged. But yeah.
Oh my God. But you see what I'm saying though? Like, she kind of just, surrendered to that. Like, she got past it. Like, all right, so he's a little shorter than me.
Yep.
Moving along here. And look, she's been her partner for over 30 years. Mm-hmm. They got their kids. They got great Roberto here, my friend Bob here.
Mi amo Beto.
You know what I'm saying? So that's beautiful.
Thank you, yeah.
That's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's still, I'm sure, like, one of them has evolved before the other and vice versa. But they've stood next to each other. They still walk side by side.
Right. And there are going to be uncomfortable moments in any relationship.
Every relationship
has that. But when you get to, like, it's that whole idea of, like, you know what? For the sake of our relationship, we're going to be able to go through it. Yeah. And it's knowing that you could go through it.
Yeah.
Having that faith, unwavering faith.
Yeah.
That's why they say through sickness, through health, through rich and poor, all of that. You just never know who's going to... And when you find that person, or maybe you already have that person.
Yeah. Maybe you have them.
Yeah. Like, just know you are so lucky.
Yeah.
You are so blessed.
Yeah. But also, if you're evolving and you're realizing this is not your person, that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to recognize it now than wait 20 years later and then just be like, man, I should have left 20 years ago. Like, that's why they say, like, it's the whole thing about listening to your soul. It has all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
And it is true, especially when you're going through growth moments.
Right.
When you're learning things.
And those are part of those difficult conversations. Mm-hmm. Knowing that sometimes I'm growing at this rate right now where I realize that that person is not the one for me.
Right.
That's also loving that person.
Right.
Because I'm not going to betray myself or you by waiting another 20 years.
Right.
To then tell you.
And it has to come from you anyway.
Yeah.
To want to, like, make changes or surrender to your changes or allow yourself to grow. It has to come from you.
Every time. Every
single time. Like, somebody can't just sit here and be like, well, I'm learning this and I'm growing and you have to do the same thing. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
No. Only you could be the one to push yourself to make that change.
Right.
No matter how many times a loved one could tell you, oh, you should be healthier or, break these habits. You ain't going to change unless you want to.
No, it has to come from you.
Yeah. But it's beautiful when there is that synergy.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. And you should want that anyway. Right. Like, you should want to find, like, your person. But you shouldn't put pressure on yourself to find your person, though.
Nah, not at all.
Because you will find your person. The time will come. Mm-hmm. You just got to allow things to happen.
Yeah.
Don't
and
try
be patient.
To control it. Yeah.
Be patient. Have grace, Everyone's timeline is going to be different.
So, everybody's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rob's parents.
Yo, I didn't expect to talk about them either. I don't know, just kind of happened. But yeah, shout out to mom and dad. Love you guys. If you're watching this episode, appreciate you giving me birth. You're giving birth to me. Thank you for giving me life. That's what I can say.
Thank you for having Rob on my birthday.
That's right. Because we timed it perfectly to make it happen. That's divine timing right there.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So this is any parting words for this episode?
Spread love, not hate.
Be great.
Hey, that was awesome.
Bars.
Blah, 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 blah. Wow. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Once again, my name is Rob.
My name is Sin. And this is Gemini Soulcast.